This is Kingdom Radio.
This is Kingdom Radio with your hosts, Ron and Laura Roby.
All right, everybody, we have a special guest here, and he's from Texas. This person is running the largest pressure washing company in the state of Texas and is also managing the biggest Texas pressure washing group, Mr. Heath Felps. What's going on, Heath?
Hey, how are you doing? Thanks for having me. I appreciate Kingdom Radio having me on. It's been really cool getting this set up, and thanks for having me on the show.
Man, I tell you what, if I had $1 for every pressure washing guy that had these orange glasses on trying to be just like you, I'd have at least $25, man.
There's a few of them out there. It's always fun to hand them out. It's very flattering the guys want to show support like that. I really appreciate it.
A lot of people are like, look, dude, I'm rocking the Heath. I mean, they look like, I ain't trying to be mean or anything, but they look like the Amico or the gas station glasses like back in the day.
Retro sunglasses.
On your profile picture, I've always seen the glasses, and then today I was doing a little bit more research before this interview, and I seen like pictures of when you were in the Navy. I'm like, oh my God, he's like looks completely different than I thought. Them glasses, man, they just kind of took it over the image.
Yeah, it's definitely a thing. Like, if I'm indoors, it's very amusing when people ask me to put them on for a photo. I'm like, okay.
Yeah, you're like, please, no autographs, please.
Yeah, the first time somebody asked me to sign my book, I was very shocked, but I was also very flattered. I just was like, why? Why do you want me to sign the book? And they were like, we love your book. You're awesome. I'm like, oh, okay.
Yeah, at first you're like, hey, I can't believe you bought the book. 2, I can't believe you read the book. Now I can't believe you want me to sign the book. This can't be true. And then it's happening over and over. And then at some point you get used to it, right?
I'm still amused by it. I still think it's flattering. I think it's cool. Because I ask people, I'm like, do you want me to sign the book? I feel like a jerk even asking. But they're always like, yeah.
Like, who do you think you are signing my book? And then really undercover, they were like, I hope he asks me because I kind of feel uncomfortable asking him for the autograph.
Yeah. And I like to, write stuff like welcome to the industry, like please reach out if you need help, crush your goals, like.
And an encouraging word from Heath Felps.
Yeah, anything is possible for anybody. I mean, that's the best thing about America is you got the freedom to do whatever you need to do, and there's a lot of tools for your success out there. The age of the internet is a wonderful thing.
You know what? But the one thing that there is a decline in is the authentic man. There's such a small amount of like authentic men like you, Heath, that are willing to help people for free because everyone has their hand out. You know what I mean? They're like, hey, I'll help you if you pay me $1,500, or I would like to teach you these things, but that's going to cost this and that. To find someone who really has a heart, obviously it's a veteran-owned company. I mean, period, brothers. But, to actually offer that and want to just give that back, man, you're just like me in that aspect, and there's not enough of us out there. And I think if, by example, hopefully we can create other people that think like us or think like you. And I think the world will be a better place, men taking their place and more men like you that's offering that helping hand for free because maybe dad didn't or maybe the brother didn't or no one really believed in them. But sometimes that word, even though it's a general, it doesn't seem like that much. It means a lot to people, man. And I just want you to know that. And I just want to thank you for that.
This is Kingdom Radio.
I appreciate it, Stern. I definitely think that, encouraging others to share and lead by example is just, there's a whole lot of people out there that just give them a little push in the right direction. They're just going to do amazing things. And I get a lot of guys who are like, how can I thank you? And I'm like, just pay it forward. Just help the next guy.
This is Heath Felps on Kingdom Radio.
I feel like One of the books I like to read is, or I recommend reading, is Simon Sinek's Start With Why. And if you know your why, you're very effective in what you do. And I think at some point, probably in my late 30s, I started to understand that my why was that I like helping people. When you retire and you set yourself up correctly, you don't have to work, but I enjoy the challenge and I enjoy helping people. It's really just the basis of why I do what I do in the group is I just enjoy helping guys. And I feel like I've made some amazing friends through it too. So that's the benefit. And a lot of vendors are helping me. And I will say the page helped me meet these vendors through the interviews and being well known and being invited into their shop. And they've been bend over backwards, amazing, welcoming me to that community. So,
well, the
really
Christmas business isn't
growth.
exactly like that, right?
Hey, you know what? Wait till I come over there and I'll change it. Wait till I come over there and I'll change it.
This is Kingdom Radio.
Because I also, in our business, we have defined our why. As a matter of fact, it's right here behind me on the wall. Define your why. I think Mark Twain said, the two most important days of your life is the day that you're born and the day that you figure out why, And defining your why, that's when the who, what, when, and where, when all of that goes away, why are you doing what you're doing? And that's the reason why customers will engage with you. And that's why you won't give up when the going gets tough. Defining your why. When you said that, I was like, man, did you do some research on me? Or that's really how you feel about that?
No, man, it's a great book. I love it. And I feel like everybody needs to know their why. And a lot of people like to talk about it. Not a lot of people like to be about it. And like I said, I've kind of distilled this as I've gone along, and I understand more about why I've been able to do what I've been able to do. And I think that you get to a point when you're actually able to focus. Not everybody figures out how to focus and how to apply maximum effort. And I feel like if you actually set yourself to a goal and you approach it like an NFL player, an Olympic athlete, or somebody that is extremely focused on one outcome, you'll likely succeed. You may not. There's roadblocks, stumbling blocks, but it boils down to how bad do you want it?
True.
Do you want it more than you want to sleep? Do you want it more than you want to eat? Do you want it as bad as you want to breathe? Even though I would label myself as someone that wants it as bad as I want to breathe.
Sure.
And I think that, our why for Texas Pressure Washing is we want to help people. We want to help others. We hired employees when we didn't need to. And there's a backstory there, but it was purely because we believed in that person and we've seen them do good things and do great things, and faith well-founded in that person. And, to kind of break it down even further, life is not hard. Love God, serve others, be kind, go above and beyond, be where you're going to say you're going to be, do what you're going to say you're going to do, and deliver. And if you have a problem doing something like being where you say you're going to be, or you have a problem delivering, communicate. If you communicate, 99.9% of people will be understanding with you. They might be frustrated, they might be upset, but be direct and be honest, and then you won't have any miscommunications or misunderstandings. Everybody makes mistakes, and it's okay. It's all about how you handle those mistakes and how you recover. And I feel like people watching me in the pressure washing industry, if you watch me closely, you'll see me make a lot of mistakes. If you're not watching me closely, I might not look like I make any.
Well, they might see those
I
orange
quickly.
sunglasses, and everyone's all jealous. I mean, from what I've heard, everyone's like, how do I get those orange glasses? Like, well, you gotta contact Heath online, I guess.
They're now for sale on my store. I got tired of it, and this is the best part.
Yeah.
Now that they're for sale, no one wants a pair. And
No.
so
They want the exclusive that you can't buy it anywhere. You can only contact Heath and be his friend. But now you can buy it for $10. Nobody wants it.
If you come in my store for anything, I hand you a pair of glasses if you don't have them.
Really?
Yeah, I have a box of them in the store. Anybody that comes in the store gets a pair.
Yeah.
But anyway.
Yeah. Okay. We can be modest, but yeah. So I seen at the Wash Mart. There's like 30 speakers, and they're all got little circles around their faces and their names and all these things. And then there's like this huge circle, and it's got a picture of your mug on it. Keynote Speaker, the glasses himself, Texas Pressure Washing, Heath Felps, Keynote Speaker.
This is Heath Felps on Kingdom Radio.
Does that happen a lot? Like, people are like, hey, man, I just have to have you, the Keynote Speaker. How does that work when people are booking you?
I think that it's a very big privilege to speak in front of a group of people that are dedicating their time, because time is the most valuable thing we have. So I am very flattered when people ask me to speak.
Sure.
I've spoke at 3 events this year, and I'm actually speaking at one more event this year at the Industry Summit in Cabo San Lucas. It's put on by Carlos Gonzalez, the CEO of EBC, Enviro BioCleaner. And I'm very excited for that because there's some really, really talented guys going down there to speak. And I view it as an opportunity for me to continue to learn more from other people, learn more from guys that have already, Patrick Clark and Brandon Vaughn are guys that, if you follow any of their footsteps, you're probably going to be successful. Networking is life.
Yeah. Speaking of that, networking, was able to join the military, and as a young man, the decision-making process, you really act before you think. But in the military, the one thing I learned in the military was discipline over myself and my decisions. Like where I was, if there was a bee like flying on your head, you couldn't move your hand to swat it out the way. It was having that discipline. Or if someone was like a stand-up comedian telling the funniest jokes, is like how we went through training, you had to sit there and couldn't even show a facial expression of a laugh. And having that discipline and control over yourself is something as a young man, I kind of took it for granted a little bit. Later in life, I went to appreciate my military service, but you actually have retired from the Navy, and you're actually at Pearl Harbor. I mean, what was that like? On a submarine, right?
Yeah, I was 20-year submariner. It was a really fun journey. Absolutely, really lucky for the people I met, the way it helped shape my life. They're
still friends today, right?
Yeah. My partner in Texas pressure washing is 22-year best friend. We met on a submarine. The guy is amazing and closer than anybody that I could ever be closer to. I'm really blessed to have him as my partner. And I think that the military gives you a lot of structure and discipline, and it really teaches you to push. And I really enjoy that because a lot of our company's military. And man, I'm telling you, when it's time to put the hammer down, you know who was in it, who wasn't. Because the guys that were in, they don't have an off button. They don't have any quit in them. I jokingly say this. There's two kinds of veterans. There's the veterans that you need to talk to a therapist about where the military touched you. And there's the veterans that are like, yeah, I did some rough stuff, and it's all right, and sometimes I miss it. Most of the time I don't. But the camaraderie is there. So we have that camaraderie. We've got Army guys, we've got Marines, we've got Air Force, we got other retired Navy guys, and sometimes I'm just in awe of how hard they push. And then when they tell me that I push hard, I'm just like, man, I'm a slacker.
This is Kingdom Radio.
Greatly, greatly appreciate everything the military did for me and the journey that it put me on. And I wouldn't be where I am today without it. Love being back in Texas. I'm
from the Washington, D.C. area. And, Northern Virginia, when I joined the military, I got stationed right back in D.C., so I didn't really get a chance to go a lot of places. But when I went to Texas, this is when I was 30. This is 12 years ago, or 14 years ago. But when I went to Texas, in my opinion, I thought that people would have all country accents in Dallas or whatever, and people would have horses and stuff. I mean, that's what I thought that Texas was. And then when you get here, it's not like that. I mean, to find someone with a country accent and a farm, I mean, they're out there. But really, to find someone who has love for Texas and love for their country, and they're flying flags, and they're, very patriotic, and they're all about the Second Amendment and these kind of things, that's what you see in Texas. That's the reality of Texas. But a lot of people aren't from here, but they align their ideals and their mindset with the Texas way of doing things. And I think a lot of people are flocking all over the country to be a part of Texas, and maybe Florida, but definitely Texas. I think it's the greatest place to live in the country.
I agree, and I love our laws. I mean, they're not perfect. We could,
you can legalize marijuana. Is that what you're trying to say?
Hey, I'm about it.
Me too.
Honestly, if they legalize marijuana, I'm not going to say that I would smoke it because I'm too busy.
I'll just take the edibles. I ain't going to smoke it.
I'm for it because I think there's a lot of medical uses, and I'm for it because, opioids and things like that cause a lot of problems. I've seen that in the military.
Sure.
We've seen it outside the military. I feel like they're rough on your body. There's a lot of other things you can do. I also think that it would help the economy in every state if you federally legalized marijuana would drastically change budgets for states. And there's a lot of states that aren't in this place that we are.
Sure.
I don't think Texas needs it, which I think is why we're hesitant to legalize, because there's no pressing desire for the money, whereas the states that need money are doing everything they can to legalize it. So I feel like there's some give and take there, but I'm a very big fan of legalizing it. I think it's a extremely big drain on our legal system and our police system.
This is Heath Felps on Kingdom Radio.
Okay, so another question that I have is, and we're in the Christmas business, and that's no secret, Kingdom Christmas Lights and Kingdom Radio. We're in the Christmas business, but it seems like most of the people that it's in a Christmas business, they do something else, and most of those people are doing pressure washing. And these guys are not small companies. They're all over the United States, and they're big companies. I think in that Pressure Washing Brothers page, I think there's a lot of Christmas light guys in there just because they're so interchangeable, the pressure washing and Christmas lights. Now, if there was like, say, 200, 300 people that were saying, hey, I want to start a business. I don't really know what business I want to do, but I know that I had a great Christmas light season and I hear that pressure washing is good. What number do they call or how do they get a hold of you?
832-781-1746 is a good number. Okay. The best way to coordinate with me is via Facebook. Just find me on Facebook. I'm wearing the orange glasses.
Heath Felps with the orange glasses.
You can't miss it. I'm wearing a red, white, and blue Texas pressure washing shirt. I love to meet people. I love to talk to people. I love to help them. And you're more than welcome to come down and see what it's all about. See if it's for you. We let you, play with our big boy equipment, so you get to see 3 different rigs. You get to come to the store and, we can talk about equipment there. And we're not the hard sellers. If you come in the store to talk to me, I understand you're there to learn about washing. Like, take it or leave it, whether you buy anything from me at all. That never bothers me. The money will come. The store's busy. That's not my purpose. Trying to help you down the path of whether it's to grow your business, to scale your business, or to answer questions, whatever it is. Like, I really enjoy doing that.
Do you recommend that anyone goes to the Texas-pressurewashing.com, your website? That website is bad to the bone, man.
Texas-pressurewashing.com.
Yes, sir. I got a blog on there that's got a ton of free information. I have a free terms and conditions where you can just enter your company name in it. It will auto-generate one with your company name in all the appropriate spots. I've got free budget builds in there. I've got safety equipment list where I buy some of my marketing stuff. There's also an SH supplier list for the nation. So national Google map of where SH is, and people can add their locations to help other people. There's also a vendor list on there, so you can find out, reputable vendors in the industry are listed on there, not just pressure washing vendors. Yeah, and everything on the blog is free. Everything is free. And there's a link to my book on Amazon, which is Pressure Washing 101 Guide. And we try to make the website very useful for the industry.
Man, you're doing a hell of a job, man. I really appreciate you having on the show, man. Let's get a round of applause for Mr. Heath Felps.
Yes, sir. Thanks for having me. It was nice talking to you.
This is Kingdom Radio.